Hi, it's Code Weaver, and we're back for the second time today. We've got good audio levels on the stream. I'm going to play a little bit of Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter. I've been playing this on the stream blind since the beginning, and I'm going to do a little bit more now. So let's just pop over to... do a quick little adjustment of my settings here, and there we go. Game should already have pretty good audio levels there too. Quick check. Yeah, okay, we're good. We are golden. We are shining. We are going to try to finish off this chapter in The Devil's Daughter. So, hitting continue. So, when last we were in the game, we were attempting to solve the case of the Mayan statue that killed someone late at night after a lawn bowling party at an archaeological club. And I'm not going to go into all the history of the case, except as comes up during my musings, because you can go watch the other parts of this either on Twitch if it's still there, or more likely on the YouTube channel. You can find a link to that in my the main part of my Twitch front end to my Twitch channel, whatever, where the list of associated accounts is. And we're at a point where we unlocked a model of a Mayan temple with a gear we got from one of the original that was made by one of the original expedition members back in I think it was 1911. It's apparently about 14 or 15 years ago. But as a result of doing that, that was kind of at the tail end of the case. We had to jump through a lot of hoops to get to that point. We went into understand what would it be? It's a mode where we understand the sequence of events by trying to plan and play them through. Because I'm pretty sure that Sherlock Holmes is not currently actually standing in a Mayan temple. He's basically running through this in what I guess the BBC version of Holmes would call the Mind Palace. His mental playground to attempt to piece things together. So we are in a version of a Mayan temple inspired by what Sherlock Holmes has read and knows about the original expedition. And actually, to quickly review we can't actually go into the journal at this point. All right, that's fine. I was going to say I was going to go through and talk about the principal people. I believe Yellington is one of the current archaeological heads, or the archaeological head of the society. May be involved in this because he seems to have incurred some debts, and he seems to have no problem with paying those debts by way of selling off archaeological finds. Which, I wish I could remember his name. Greystoke, one of the other archaeology members, does not like the idea of selling off this stuff. I don't think. At the very least, he objected to the use of a Mayan plate calendar, actually, that had that depicted or described a curse about disturbing the village in which this temple apparently resided. We know there's some conflict between those two. One of them seems to be very much more into the history than... Alright. Oh, well, that's not good. Now, we had a journal with these symbols on it and what they meant. And there was a message that was on the calendar in a specific order, but I don't have those written down. So if I meant to follow those in a specific order, I am hosed. So that kind of answers that question, doesn't it? Okay. The thing is if we were meant to follow them in a specific order, I can't get to any of these at least by way of the sort of four cardinal directions, that gets me to any different symbol. So I don't know how I'm supposed to. Okay, I don't know. There's been a motif in some of the patterns of this case that have involved pairs of statues, for example. And I'm seeing a lot of adjacent pairs here. And now I'm stuck because I don't have pairs that I can take. Okay, so I don't know. I'm running on that assumption because I don't have. Can't go to that one because it doesn't lead to like it doesn't. Well, see, that's the thing. That one does get me to a place that like that follows from a pair. And I could be completely guessing on this, right? Because if it's supposed to spell out a message, I am, in fact, completely hosed. So this one doesn't lead to a pair, so I don't know. I can't be on the right track here. I walk off to this side. Okay, the thing I would like to know, so we're going to go with cross, sort of swirly C designs, 4 of them, and cross for 3. So if I hit skip, where do I end up? Oh, interesting. Okay, alright. So, time to pay a little more attention. Is there anything to pay attention to? These patterns on the walls don't seem to match the pattern. Okay. This is different. So they're all quarter, eighth, or half circles. All right. Well, let's find out what happens when I turn one. Oh. Okay then, so that just means turn a certain portion of the circle. Now I turned it a full 180 degrees. So clockwise when the quadrants are below, and counterclockwise when the quadrants are above. Okay. I can jump that. What's the matter with you? So these are not at even gradations somehow. Man, I'm not sure this actually gets me anywhere. Okay, so that was the door I actually came in on. Okay. Well, the symbol above that one says it basically implies half and a quarter turn. So, okay. The problem is this is all relative motion, so I don't know if this means anything. Alright, I'll take it. And the last one says another quarter turn to get to... Okay. Maybe. No, totally the wrong way to go. So we're gonna undo that. Brings me there. Eighth of a turn. Just counterclockwise. No, I don't want to skip. I can't actually jump over there. Okay. See, as a matter of alignment, that one seems to not be aligned. It's like out by 1/16th of a circle, but I don't have anything that allows me to turn it that finely. That is really weird, because now I'm no longer aligned to, at the very least, that one. Well, I may be trapped in here forever. Okay, Curiouser and curiouser. Yes, I know I'm just going back and forth here. I just find it very interesting that... See, now I was at that one, and now I'm out by a quarter of a step, so I'm not entirely sure, like an eighth of a step, so I'm not... One of these. So, yeah, I don't know what the symbols... I haven't gotten onto what the symbols mean here. I took these to mean quarter, eighth, and half circle rotations. But clearly, the way these line up, those rotations aren't exact. One of these is falling short by an eighth of a cycle. I don't know which one it is, and I've stumbled into an answer, and that's not a satisfying resolution for me. But don't like stumbling into answers. I tend not to have those aha moments, but I have managed to get out of the puzzle, so I must have been misreading the nature of those tiles a little bit. Okay, so okay, so climbing up the rock wall. Oh, up to an upper level, okay. this is cute and all, but I didn't solve one of those. The walking across the room puzzles, so not. Maybe I'll come back to that at some point. Okay, I'm a little mystified. That goes to an upper level. Okay, and that goes to nothing, although... that room was supposed to be. It's gonna bug me now. Boy. Nope. Okay, that's gonna be fun. And I can fall off in a heartbeat, so... Okay. Is this going to be literally race against time, or is there an analytic solution to this I'm missing? Oh, no, let's skip. She could jump, though. Okay. I was about to criticize the game for not having an analytic solution, because I hate things that you can only solve. Nope, 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 nope. But you can clearly see what I'm doing here. I'm paying attention to the undersides. The walls of the chamber. Okay, that one I didn't mind so much. It is in principle possible to solve. It is in principle possible to solve the first time if you're quick and analytic, and I'm okay with that. I just don't like stuff that's really only practically possible to solve by repeatedly just dying and over and learning how to get through it. That to me does not a narrative make. But this one's okay. I give this one a pass. All right, so that's just that first room. That first room was weird. I sort of did an end run around it, which is odd. So all right. Go. I mean, I obviously wasn't so quick and analytic that I got through it the first time, but that's okay. That's just me, not being quite quick-witted enough. So I'll call that one an okay puzzle. All right, so. This is odd. What am I supposed to notice here? The faces, the smiling ones don't kill me. Okay, so smiling, smiling, smiling. Smiling, smiling. Death. Probably death. Smiling, smiling, smiling. Smiling, smiling. Probably death. Whoa. Take a bit of a gamble here. Smiling. Death. I can get through that. All right. Don't quite. I noticed that too late. That's okay. That's my bad. That's fine. All right. I got this thing's number. Now it's just a matter of me paying attention. Here, around the back of this. Smile. Smile and smile. Smile and smile. Around the back side of this. That one's death. So I go around the back side of this. And then through here. And I'm through. by the way, a weird cutscene because Sherlock's not actually here. So I'm not sure sort of what this is metaphorically supposed to represent, his investigation into the logs of the original expedition going through the temple, perhaps, or studying the faithful recreation of the temple and mechanical parts that was inside the globe. Like, it's an odd... It's a fun puzzle scenario, but I'm not sure how it fits into the narrative. Oh, hello. Threading the needle through plank maze. I can live with that. Ah, alright. Classic Indiana Jones moment here.
The
just
treasure
like
of Takunuman.
And we've got the symbols around the outside. Oh, hello.
The calendar. It was here. So Zacharias, Sir Charles, and Marley have all known about this from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Hang on, what was the third name? I gotta...
The calendar. It was here. So Zacharias,
Marley.
Sir
Marley
Charles,
was a
and
robotics
Marley
expert.
have all known
Zacharias
about
is
this from the
Zacharias
beginning.
Greystoke, the guy who got killed and who objected to the stuff being sold off or given away as prizes. And Charles Yellington is the head of the Archaeological Society. I don't even need to go into my notes to remember that, except for possible naming. So clearly what we have here is counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. A 1 with a line, which is different from that 1. And then 2, 3, 4. So, and then a double line, and then a single line. So, I'm guessing some sort of base 4 counting system. This mathematics is my bag, man. If I take this, I'm just gonna die,
This is
right?
the statuette that Bernard Marley, Sir Charles, and Zacharias all shared.
Oh, it's got pieces. It didn't even occur to me that the pieces that we had, the one piece that was in Zacharias' box in the Archaeological Society, and the one that Marley had at his place, might form pieces of the same statue. That should have been clear to me. And that's how he knew how to reproduce the other missing pieces, because he'd seen it before. That was Marley, because he had one that was sort of what was sort of all together. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah. Okay, we can dig it. Now I'm gonna have to do something involving these things, aren't I? Yeah, I'm gonna have to reach through, and if I don't do it in the right order, it'll kill me. So. Alright, well, let's start with 1 and see if I die horribly. Except I can't. I seem to be able to activate it, so what happens if I go over here?
No keyhole or handle. There must be a way.
Okay. Oh, so I can select that? I can select it. Okay, now I can select it. Well, let's try the one that only has a dot and see if that constitutes 1. Okay. I'm gonna go with 2 without the line. I go with 3 without the line. I'm gonna go with 4 without the line. I'm guessing, sorry, not a base 4 counting system, base 5. Because this is effectively the equivalent of 4 strokes and then a slash through it. This has to be 5. Right. And then 1 with a dot, this makes 6. Sorry, 5 with 2 dots makes it a 7. A 5 with 3 dots makes it an 8. Game math puzzles probably won't bother me too much. A line with 4 dots is 9. Yeah, having said that, I'm gonna get cocky and I'm gonna die horribly from something. And this is 10. Oh, hello. Okay, no, this is his mental recollection. And that's how he lost his arm. Someone got sloppy. Somebody got greedy. 3 of them got away, defiled the temple in the process, and one of them lost his arm. The gentleman we saw in the hospital. The hospital guy was Marley, which we then traced back to his den. But he wasn't the artificer that made all the robots. Okay, I gotta keep these guys straight. Alright. Okay. This is a piece of that one statue. Okay. Oh, okay, what's the next on the quest? Search the club lounge, investigate the murder because Zacharias Grace. Okay, I don't know what else we can search in here, but we can certainly try.
The late Miss...
I can't actually look at those photos anymore.
The 50th birthday.
Let's go talk to Charles downstairs. Maybe he has something new to say.
A murder at my club.
Oh, apparently not. Ah, right. So we have to go back into here and start piecing together the various pieces of this. Temple model. Right. Testimonies of Charles and Bernard are contrary to Albaeus. However, none of them wish to talk about the temple. Okay. I don't know how to piece these together just yet. I mean, Barnard Marley is afraid of the curse, but I don't think I can't see. He has to be involved in the robotics of the assassination. Do we have any? Yeah, we have more clues. So, albeit was left behind. Okay, right. Marley is the guy who did the robotics. Albeit is the guy who lost his arm that we saw in the hospital and then traced back to his place. There's clearly a connection about the illness, so. Albeit blames the expedition members for his fate, he seeks revenge and might adopt the curse to this end. Albeit believes that he is being punished by the curse, he does not seek revenge on anyone. Don't know. I mean, the way he behaves, he believes he's being punished by the curse. And he's gone to an awful lot of trouble to present himself that way. If it's a deception, it's a playing a long game because of the whole notes with his family thing, where he says to his family that his heart belongs, or the important part of him, I guess you could say, was not his arm as such, but an important part of his psyche, a part of who he was lost. His innocence or whatever was lost in the whole temple thing. So he could be playing a long game on this. Okay, back to the clues. Let's find out what else we have. Killed by the direction where the statue stood. These are clearly connected because robotics could have enabled anyone to throw the spear, even someone who was armless. Personally, I'm more in favor of this answer, that it's not possible to build an automaton, not for the throwing, because the throwing could, basically just be a launching mechanism and, orient him. But the statue literally got up off the pedestal and walked away. Making a decision to go over the wall for that matter. If we were playing a more fantastical game, then I'd have no problem with this, steampunk kind of stuff and all that. But I came into this game sort of assuming that it was a sort of a Conan Doyle-esque movie, sort of not necessarily steampunk or curses and the like. As such, I don't know. How fantastical is the story? I don't really want to do it in terms of metagaming either. I want to deduce it from stuff that's actually in the story. So, okay. We have nothing to connect that to yet. But I may have to unravel some of this. And I still think he had the opportunity to do that. Oh, okay. So the plate was there. They had this. They had to have had the smarts to be able to translate it. So they had to have known about the curse. There's no way that. Okay, so let's just start with the assumption. Let's start with the assumption that that Sir Charles and Marley. Mm, how is Marley trying to defend himself against it? He had to have been the one. Alright, let's spin this a slightly different way. Alright, so let's say he doesn't necessarily believe that he's already the chosen one. But let's say that he thinks he has to make himself the chosen one in order to avoid being the one that's killed. That's a plausible interpretation because that is a plausible interpretation. I don't know if it's an interpretation that he cannot be the chosen one, but if we choose that, oh. Maybe fear. I do not believe that Charles does not know about the curse. But I don't know whether or not one of these two is necessarily true. It could very easily be that he's making this false, like... I don't believe he isn't in on it. He and everyone else scarpered. He has debts. Okay, for the moment, I'm more inclined to believe that Albeit thinks he was being punished by the curse. Didn't see the running... So... Yeah, because I had this selected for a while. He doesn't need to have seen the running statue. This is worded weirdly because he doesn't need to have been there. If he was either the running statue substitute himself and then could make up the story after the fact that he had viewed it from a distance, or he didn't even need it necessarily to be there if he knew who was in the statue. So he doesn't. It doesn't need to be the case that he saw the statue, and we already know that he's in debt. So at least there's motive. So I'm going to go with false statement, but that does open this up, right? And I believe that the automaton could be made to augment somebody's movements. I mean, being a little bit fantastical here, you could build something that operated like a loader lift, like you've seen an Alien movie where you can, it's an exoskeleton. You could build an exoskeleton in a sort of a version of it out of bits. In principle, if we believe that the statue itself was in fact an automaton. That didn't necessarily need to be, but it at least had to be like a shell of metal so that it could fool people. With somebody inside, and maybe the mechanics were just to increase the throwing power during the critical moment. But yeah, I'm willing to buy that. And the attacks, they were proficient, so that's fine. This connection is still I'm not sure about, but the person who killed Zacharias had sufficient physical strength to make a powerful and accurate throw. That's assuming it wasn't augmented by the automatons. Wow, see, there's an awful lot of robotics still going on in this, and I kind of need to know why that's a thing. What if we say it was an automaton? What if we say that Sir Charles did see the statue running away? What if the attacks... None of these connections go together very well without it being somebody of specific physical strength. Come on. Not willing to believe the curse is real. Stuff and nonsense. But then, yeah, okay, so none of these things connect up in that case. I don't understand where the robotics is coming from, because one of the things that you could claim is that the robotics could augment a person's physical abilities. He knew of the curse. He had to have known of the curse. I do not buy that he did not know of the curse. Don't know about all this. But if this is not an automaton... Yeah, sorry, I know it looks like I'm just fiddling with the settings. It's not really my intention here. I think they gained its entry. I think that's pretty clear. Don't think there's revenge. But how did I have these? Did not see the running statue. How do these connect before? It could belong to someone else who could also be the murderer. The act of him being afraid of the curse and trying to defend himself against it is what opens that up. I don't know what the connection here is. The person who killed Zacharias had sufficient physical strength to make a powerful and accurate throw. Yeah, I really don't believe that. Okay, yeah, if he thoroughly believes he's the chosen one. This doesn't fit. This just doesn't fit. Because why would we be seeing all of these examples of gearworks and all of that if he hadn't had something to do with this? Especially since we saw that he had created in his office an automaton that could throw a spear. No. There's something wrong here. I mean, he could be afraid of the curse and trying to defend himself against it. See, to me, these two are not contradictory. He could be afraid of the curse and trying to become the chosen one. I know that by adding in the fear item, I get a connection. I have no reason to suspect the son yet. I mean... Oh, hello. Oh, look, chat room spam. That's great. You know what? Screw off chat room spam. Not interested. I got a lot of stuff here that doesn't make any sense. And I don't know how to get to the next piece of it. So I'm running out of things to investigate. So... there's a conflict here. I mean, unless they were all in on it. Let's say that just one of them was in on it. I mean, Charles has a motive because of the finances thing. He has a motive because he might have wanted to, because Greystoke may have found out about Charles selling off artifacts, and wanted to stop him, and the two confronted one another in some sense. One thing led to another, and then Charles decided to set this up as a way of getting rid of Greystoke and deflecting stuff. It's kind of risky because somebody's going to, like, you know, Sherlock or myself is going to ask the question, well, okay, the curse is nonsense. Somebody else did this. Who did this? And then start digging. So risky, but not unreasonable for maybe for somebody to try something exotic to try to pin the murder, right? And there's a lot of superstitious people. Not sure what to look for. The only connection I was able to make on that connection map is one that I don't buy. Alright, gonna take a 10-second break. I'll be back in half a second. Alright, ladies and germs, I am back. I've just got myself a little bit more bubbly carbonated liquid to keep me fueled. Yeah, so let's switch back to the gaming cam. There we go. I'm just going to do an audio check on the stream. Yep, okay, we're good. So we're back and everything's live. Great. Just want to make sure. I have lost streams because I've been a twit with the audio or some other piece of the thing. And I did promise no potato chips, but I lied. So, all right, let's try to think this out. So at the crux of the matter is, why have the automated stuff, the guy with the automated stuff at all? Now, either he believes he's really the chosen one and working it from that angle, or he's fearful but is being coerced into helping in some sense, or thinks that helping by building automatons of one nature, or at least shells for people, is going to help keep him safe, or he's being blackmailed. But I mean, we're only given two options. He's either fearful of the curse and trying to defend himself, in which case, why have all of these bits that suggest that he's involved in the killing by way of the automation? He could be being coerced by one of the others.
These antiques look quite valuable.
The question is, if Sir Charles is involved, it's suggesting that there needs to be somebody with a lot of strength in order to kill with a spear. If it were a human propelling it, that would be true. And if the only thing that the statue was a human being wrapped in basically armor to look like a statue, maybe you could use mechanical advantage in order to launch the spear instead of strength. It might take a strong person in order to move around in that armor without being a, sort of powered exoskeleton. Which, granted, not a lot of powered systems in this day and age. And that's the thing. It would still have to be powered by human motion. Now, the throwing could take advantage of a number of physical properties so that it could launch it super, super fast, even while being manipulated by a lighter person. But now that I think about it, if we don't have all that clockwork stuff, probably wouldn't fit in there enough to be able to do anything useful while the person was in there. Maybe I'm bringing too much of modern day into it. You wouldn't have powered systems. Clockwork mechanisms would be like heavy springs and the like. Unless the only powered system was basically a mechanism to throw really hard, which could be a clockwork thing or other physical mechanism to provide mechanical advantage, like a harpoon gun or crossbow bolt. There are ways to build things with mechanical advantage that might work there, but let's say it did require someone with strength. Where does Albeit come in with his not Albeit. Albeit or Marley. I'm having trouble keeping those two straight. Marley. Where does Marley's mechanical stuff fit in? It's just a little too coincidental that it's possible that mechanical devices were involved in this at some stage. I think, as far as the story goes, I think the automaton could be built to do something precise in terms of throwing a spear, but not necessarily getting over the wall. The thing that bugs me about this is this choice, along with didn't see the running statue, unlocks a strength thing. Now, he is superstitious, so the fear thing makes sense. He was acting pretty fearful. If Johnny was the chosen one, he wouldn't be fearful. He would be... I mean, he might fake being fearful. But assuming his fear is genuine, he wouldn't... And assuming he's a bad liar, he wouldn't need to be fearful if he genuinely thought he was the chosen one. So the fear kind of makes sense. I don't like the way it's worded in the clue, but okay. It's probably not, albeit because he's extremely ill, and we know he's extremely ill. He's not in the hospital. He's not faking his hospital visits. I don't think he could be directly involved, unless he's a mastermind in orchestrating this. Okay. He wouldn't have a small person in his place that I think would then turn on him. So I think the bed probably is his son's. But that there was some... See, where did his statue broke away from that base and raced up through the roof? Okay, the club statue as an automaton could be false, whereas the, entirely an automaton could be false, while still having the automaton that broke through the skylight in Albeit place could itself be an automaton. They would have to climb a rope, though. It kind of contradicts this last one, Because if this is an automaton, that link gets severed. So Charles is aware of the curse. He had the perfect opportunity. And motive. See, the reason why I'm sitting here doing this is because I don't know what to do next, legitimately. Both of them have pieces of the gold statue. Both of them were there. I don't really believe that Albeit would have personal possessions in that room if you didn't trust the person who was in that room. And his son would definitely qualify. But I'd forgotten that note. Because this basically says, I know I am the chosen one. The revenge thing is starting to sound a bit more plausible because, okay, so... Letter from the hospital. It's a notification from the bank. I am not sure where to look. So, albeit was left to die there and lost his arm in the process, he managed to get out. He almost died. He was trapped in there. Albeit had a horribly rough life. Didn't have, I mean, you know, yeah, freed from slavery, but unable to, probably unable to work. Didn't get any of his share of any money that came out of the expedition. Maybe Charles legitimately doesn't know about the curse in some sense, but perhaps, albeit is using the curse, the story of the curse, to do a revenge thing so that he basically kills one of them and pins the murder on the others. Well, the only other one remaining. Well, the other two remaining, because Marley was a part of it. Alright, well, what if we say... Well, so we know albeit was there. So... He said he never went in, but that's not true. So we know he's already lying. So if that is actually bitterness, thing is, I think Charles is aware of the curse. I can't see how he isn't. So it's really hard for me to simply select unaware of the curse and opportunity doesn't make him a murderer. I don't really buy that, but let's say that he did actually see the statue running. Maybe, albeit, managed to convince Marley to see. Now, I don't believe that Charles is unaware of the curse. To me, that doesn't make any kind of story sense. But let's say that he's a moron, and he does seem to be a bit of a dandy. It does appear to be, willing to self-crap off. Now, is that critical to being the chosen one? So yeah. So if he is a chosen one, so okay, so he's a chosen one. Sets that up. But that does need to be okay. So I have to be willing to accept the fact that Marley was smart enough to build automatons that could do all of that. So let's say that that's actually true. It could be the case that, albeit was involved by way of... See, that doesn't immediately have an effect on anything here. So that's interesting. So we don't know what that is yet. It could be that, that albeit coerced, convinced Marley that the curse was real, in order to exact revenge, but do so in a way that did not directly point back to him. Perhaps. We don't know yet. So Charles saw Barnard Marley's automaton running away on the morning of the murder. Yeah, okay. Small child will not have been sufficient strength or cunning to be a murderer. So the thing that's a little bit odd here. So this has to be, in order for that path to be correct, the son has to be innocent. So it has to be that that albeit really does have his son stopping by from time to time. He may still be bitter that he couldn't take part in his family because of all of this, though. So we have to leave that open for the moment. This has the advantage that all of the automaton stuff that Marley is doing has a point, including recreating the statue, like having all the bits that create another statue in his possession. Of all of the possibilities we've explored, and I've rambled on forever, this combination is the one that makes the most sense to me at present. And in fact, if I change that mechanism definitely goes away. So we have to assume that he was unaware. And the fact that he was willing to sell materials. That he was willing to sell materials to pay off the debts is coincidental. I don't like coincidences, but... It's suggesting I have to keep searching the lounge, though, and I don't know why. For example,
The late Mr.
none of these people
The late Mr. Smith's collection.
have anything that sort of relates to the current case as far as I can tell.
The late Mr. Sutherland's collection. The late Mr.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be searching for in the lounge. We can talk to him about being a witness.
A murder at my club. What a disaster for our reputation.
Again, though, I mean, I kind of believe this path better, but I seriously and honestly do not know where to go next. Like in either case, really. Pop back to Baker Street just to say I can. Well, well, well.
My analysis table. It's useful for my work.
Hey, buddy. All right.
It's not here. It's not here.
Well, why it's not letting me go there?
Better not go there.
Okay. I'm missing something, and it's driving me nuts.
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes?
Remembering how I obtained my love.
At this point, there's nobody down here to even investigate. There's a thing in that lounge that I'm missing, and it's driving me nuts.
Tissot watch. Swiss. 1855. Money was... And all... This spear. The Mayan calendar. Interesting. What are the symbols here? I'll need to redraw them.
Can't go to the hospital either. Can I go to the hospital? Oh, well, apparently I can't. Don't know what use that's going to do. But due diligence. Let's go take a look.
This should be the right place. Our man might be here.
Well, no, our man won't be here because we already chased him back.
That isn't our man.
Well, the short answer is no. The short answer is no, there is no point in me coming back here.
What should we...
I don't know what to do next, buddy. The only place to be is the club. I would kind of know that from the quest list. I just don't know what else to look at. Unless I simply haven't managed to expose enough stuff. In the clues list in order to unlock a bit of dialogue or a visiting people thing. So,
I heard that
we're not going to leave this room until we figure out what to do next. It's got to be in here. I got to be being a bit of a dumbass. Except we know albeit was there. Oh, hello. But he was in the pyramid. I don't... Oh, that one's not relevant. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't make that connection. So what's the connection here? If it's not revenge, he legitimately believed he was... So I had it on this, blames the expedition members. But if that's not true, if he believes he's being punished and does not seek revenge, which is kind of consistent... Well, it's not... It is possible. I did say it was possible for him to feel like he got abandoned there. But for the same reasons, I guess, as Marley, he's portraying fearful. Let's say he is fearful, albeit is portraying feeling like the curse is punished him, hence the letters to his family and so on and so forth, all of which could be manufactured if you wanted an elaborate alibi. But taking it at face value, I guess this kind of makes sense. He does believe he was punished by the curse. Okay. Which then sets up the connection because I have eliminated Marley. Sorry, eliminated albeit, but implicated Marley. This is where we end up. Well, let's just fiddle with these settings just a little bit. If I do that, everything falls apart. So, but that's again, albeit caring about his son, and if we take his reaction to his family at face value and his sort of sorrow and depression about the curse at face value, then we have to assume the son is really why that bed is down there. All right. Doubts his statues is killing automatons in the hopes he may become the chosen one. You can probably tell from my stream, I'm not really a superstitious guy. I basically threw out the actuality of superstition quite a long time ago, so not really big on using that as an excuse. But on the other hand, well, I mean, in this time period, sanatoriums were almost a fate worse than death. Not sure prisons would have been much better, but I'm torn on this one. Kind of like the last one, actually. I think people should be held accountable for their positions, even when they're superstitious and deeply held positions lead them into their the things that they do. But claiming you're the chosen one and willing to murder because of it. Oh, geez. Yeah. I hate this. Except I like it when games give me posers. Prisons don't generally have a great recidivism rate, at least not in that day and age, and probably not now, except in a few countries in the world where they seem to have got it a bit better together. And from that point of view, if the person were legitimately ill, I would prefer to see them get better first and then be held accountable with some consideration for time served and getting better, maybe some hybrid between these two. But I don't have an ability to be to have a hybrid here. I have to either condemn him, on one grounds of being guilty of the crimes, which is technically true, or absolve him so that he can get help. But that, at least here, kind of implies that he gets off, which really wouldn't be the case being put in a sanatorium in that day and age. But having gotten somebody better, I still think they probably should serve some time to the community or make some sort of recompense, even if they, quote, get better. I don't think just getting better. I don't think being sick is a complete absolution. But my mind may change in different circumstances. I got to deal with this one. He's not... If he is insane, and we arrest him, and he isn't put to death, then he's not going to learn anything because he's insane. Let's say that the sanatorium isn't going to be a thoroughly terrible place to put him, like he actually gets treatment. Then he can get to the point of being able to acknowledge that what he did was wrong, at which point it's possible to then hold him accountable with some consideration for time served. I don't like the word absolve. I do not absolve this individual. I would not absolve this individual from the responsibility. But I can, if this insanity is determined to be some sort of curable sickness, that is a better direction to go in order to make amends to society, the families, and so on, than simply putting him into prison, assuming that he is insane. So I'm gonna go with absolve, even though I don't like the word. Which I grant may be in slight contradiction to the last guy that I condemned. But, you know, these things are never easy. I have to... I can go back and forth like I did that time for hours. I'm not going to. I'm going to hit absolve, and with the consideration that I don't like this completely binary decision here, but okay, absolve. We're going to do that. Because I think that could lead to him being able to be made accountable for his actions later better than simply arresting him if he's not capable of acknowledging why it's bonkers for him to have done this. So, alright. There we go. I made my choice. May not be the best one, but there we go. I did it.
What's happened? Did someone else die? Did Tekunuman strike again?
Tekunuman has been avenged, Mr. Marley. It's over now. The fear is over. You have only to follow us.
Follow you? But why?
Don't worry, you're not responsible. There are specialists who will take care of you. They will help you.
No, I'm not crazy. No, it's you who's the lunatic.
5% people made the same moral choice. Well, there you go. I guess I'm the oddball. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I was on the hairy edge. Because, yeah. I think people should be held accountable for their actions, even when they come from stupid positions. Unjustified positions. I shouldn't use the word stupid as such. Unjustifiable bases for their decisions include thinking you're the chosen one of an ancient god. I'm sorry. Deal. Yeah. Oh well, I guess I can't dwell on the fact that I'm the oddball on this one. I did make that choice reluctantly for whatever it's worth to any of the other 95% who think I made the wrong choice. Anyway. And to be fair, I think being in a sanatorium at that time would have actually been terrible. So I kind of made that decision assuming a modern sensibility of actually getting medical treatment, because I think mental illness is a serious problem. It needs to be addressed for a lot more people than just people this far gone. People who have... we should treat mental medical conditions with the same gravity as we do a cut in the arm or a broken leg or whatever. We should find ways to help deal. But anyway, yeah, no, I'm just going to accept it. Or I could be here forever. So there we go.
Mr. Orson Wilde is here, and I'm going to stay with Miss Alice.
What?
Did you forget? Orson Wilde, you know, the star of American theatre. And he's visiting and staying with us. You did forget?
No, not that. I meant you wanting to stay with Miss Alice.
Yes, that's right. Miss Alice suggested it. She told me you couldn't possibly refuse.
Why don't you stay with Mrs. Hudson?
Oh, but Miss Caitlin has more in common with Miss Alice, and they get along so well.
Mrs. Hudson. Mr. Wilde is here to study my father's character for his next play. And he won't be disappointed, will he? Father is so big-headed.
I can't believe it. The great Sherlock Holmes standing in front of me. I'm sure that our two brains will.
Brains.
Okay. Well, I tried to build a character portrait, but I think I'm going to call it after I do so. Yeah. Okay, he follows fashion trends. Don't know yet. We'll go with American Pride for the moment. Trying to show off to us a little bit, I think. Bit full of himself. I'm going to go with self-affected, just because of the personalized boots. Of the two things that this could be, could be wants to attract attention. Why not? Oh, fail. Oh well. Artist assisting follows fashion. He admires his own reflection. He wears a brooch to attract attention. So apparently I have not gotten the character portrait right. Alright, well, that's that.
Mr. Wilde, your room.
Charming. This is such a fascinating city.
We need to talk.
I'd rather not. You're going to be angry again. Goodbye, Mr. Wilde.
Is it 5 o'clock already? I think I might go and ask Mrs. Hudson for some tea.
Okay, so this has been a delightful stream. I'm going to call it here. Thanks very much for watching / playing with me, however you want to phrase that. Yeah, I think I will. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. I'm kind of in the mood for doing another stream before the evening's out. We'll have to see how it plays up. I might just go back to Phasmophobia, because I kind of feel like doing that. I was thinking about Kerbal Space Program as well. We'll have to see. But for the moment, thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you in my next stream. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.